Over Broadway.
Welcome to Bits Over Broadway.
Bits Over Broadway.
Wanted on the record that we are actually starting 4 minutes ahead of schedule.
A new record for us.
New record that we're actually on time, and that means we have 4 extra minutes to go wildly off topic.
Yeah.
So I look forward to that. Using all what's 4 times 60? 100.
Don't ask me.
320 of
I'm
those
gay.
minutes.
I can't do math.
Is that right? It's 4 times 6.
4 times 6 is 8.
4 times 6 is 8.
I'm sorry. How dare you make my first sound on this a cackle? It's incredibly inconsiderate.
Incredible that you're somehow dumber than me. 24. 240 minutes.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
We're keeping that in. Don't cut that.
Oh, no.
Great news. That took up a minute of our time. Okay, I
just want to make it clear.
That's Connor Relier, world's dumbest people. And we're back with another episode of Gay People Can't Do Math.
I just want to make it clear that part of my job, my day job, is doing math on a regular basis.
Same. I do work in the financial industry. I actually love that for me. Okay.
Oh my God.
Should we maybe do the podcast?
Please.
Okay.
Can we get back to familiar territory?
Yes, now we're back in the area where you look very smart and I look perennially
Yes.
stupid. Thank God. Equilibrium.
That's, from what I know about equality, that is
That's equality. That's women's lib for you.
We march so that we can all be equally stupid.
So that a gay man and a straight woman can be dumb together on the record.
On the record.
That's what we fight for.
Yes.
Is that a song?
I
What's the
don't
song
know.
I'm looking for?
I don't know.
Someone sing me any song.
Is
Okay.
it because you break my heart?
Don't talk to me about Regina Spektor. I gotta say, this episode's gonna be wild. I'm excited.
Has some capital T thoughts.
I have some thoughts about this.
Can't wait.
Okay, Connor, do you have any biz before we get started?
No, I think we're all ready to go.
Dive right in. Our guest today is a very dear friend, as are many of our guests.
All of our
I'm
guests.
excited to one day have a guest who's a very dear enemy. But for now, we continue our tradition of having very dear friends.
Yes.
Former roommate, in fact, of mine. Kelsey Kennedy.
Welcome.
Oh my God, thank you.
I forgot to ask you for your credits before we did this.
Writer.
And so then I was like, I have to introduce her and I've my mind has been blank. Yes, writer,
Ticket seller,
house manager, usher,
snack eater,
phone snatcher.
I do love that.
Big same. That's
Yeah,
the energy
I have a
we're
lot
bringing.
to brag about.
I love that. And today we are discussing Moulin Rouge, the
Moulin
Broadway
Rouge.
musical,
Not
the film,
not
not the Baz Luhrmann film.
Wow.
It's fun to say.
That was something.
Yeah, give it a try.
Baz Luhrmann.
Baz Luhrmann.
That's like when people on TikTok, the new trend is to talk in cursive. It's very weird.
Seems like they're stealing a bit.
Yeah, just a bit.
Seems like they're stealing a bit I may have been doing for years.
Oh, you mean what happens to all of your bits?
Yes, it is actually famously true that I am doing bits that people get famous for 2 to 3 years before they get famous for doing them.
This is correct.
It's
Stolen
why
by the youth.
It's true. It's why I'm so good at comedy, but I'll never be successful because my timing is famously very bad. All right, Connor, hit us with some facts and figs.
Facts and figs. Hold for bumper.
I think that the intro is just going to be me doing with as much vocal fry as possible.
Yeah.
Facts and figs.
I'm still gunning for the bumper that's just like a really heavy metal, like Like, I really want that to be the Facts and Figs bumper.
Ooh, you got Mitch good with that one. Ooh, yeah.
You should go full Hans Zimmer and just do.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Full annihilation.
Yeah.
Facts and Figs.
Facts and Figs.
hit us with them.
With them. Okay, so Moulin Rouge is a musical with music and lyrics by Various.
I hate when a musical is in my iTunes
Under
playlist because it's
artists.
always various. I'm
Yeah.
like, but just put it together.
But this one is specifically Various because the majority of the musical is adaptation, or not adaptation, covers.
Guess what, y'all? We doing another jukebox musical.
It's a jukebox. Okay.
Don't blame us, blame Broadway. Stop producing the jukebox musicals if you don't want a Broadway podcast to cover a jukebox musical.
Correct. The book.
Broadway.
Yeah, this is Broadway's
It's
fault,
Broadway's
honestly.
fault. It is. Someone's fault, so.
Bold. The book was written by John Logan, and it is based on the 2001 film directed by Baz Luhrmann. It was originally in, it had its out-of-town tryout in Boston in July of 2018, and then it transferred to Broadway in June of 2019 for previews, and then it opened last July.
That's so fast.
Yeah, it was a really quick turnaround. And then they are planning to start the national tour this year in December, and then it will open in the West End supposedly next year. I don't know when. It opened too late last year to be like nominated for Tonys, so it will most likely be up for any this year. Just saying that it is in this year's Tony season. That's all I'm saying, Meryl. And just a quick synopsis: Moulin Rouge is set in the, I'm going to say this wrong, Montmartre quarter of Paris during the Belle Epoque at the turn of the 20th century. It tells the story of Christian, a young composer who falls in love with cabaret actress Satine, the star of the Moulin Rouge. And the musical score weaves together original songs with pop music. And they like adjusted the score to include pop music from the last 17 years
Intervening
since
years.
its release in 2001.
Two things, Connor. We should try out for the national tour.
Agreed.
Obviously, we are the leads.
I'm obviously going to get Satine.
Natch, and I'll be playing Aaron Tveit.
Yeah.
And secondly, that's the character's name, I assume.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. The character's name is Aaron Tveit.
And I had a second point, but I forgot it. So let's continue on.
So, Kelsey, you've seen the show, right?
I did see it.
Tell us about that.
I have a friend.
Okay.
It's hard to believe, but I do. She works in the producer's office. And so I got to go with a comp to opening night.
Sick.
Wow.
Love
And
that.
it was incredible.
So you saw Aaron Tveit and Karen Olivo.
Yeah, I saw
Full
everybody.
glory.
Oh, amazing.
I was in the room with so many people. I didn't look it up after, but I'm sure there were a lot of famous people there.
probably.
The rich, the famous.
Yes.
Stars to the
Amazing.
stars.
Did not get to go to the party afterward,
Ugh.
but, I went and got food, so that was good too.
Yeah, that works.
It's pretty much the same.
I think
I'm
so.
glad we have someone who saw it in the room.
Yes.
Because I do feel very strongly that seeing it probably makes it a lot better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
I
And
think-
I have places where I'm going to talk about that.
Okay,
Ooh,
perfect.
good.
I think this show
Maybe.
has real bat out of hell energy.
Agreed.
Where if you listen to the soundtrack, you might be confused. But if you have seen it, you're like, no, I promise it actually works.
Yeah.
So I am interested. Let's get into it.
Yeah, for sure. I think just jumping off that point, though, I wanted to say that I think that is like classic for most jukebox musicals.
Yeah,
Where like it works better when you experience it.
sure.
As a like Mamma Mia is
First
fun
of all,
to-
how dare you, Mamma Mia, Bob.
Yeah,
Everyone
because-
loves ABBA.
because
ABBA's
everyone
incredible.
loves ABBA and it's amazing. But what I'm saying is that like when you like see the show, it's more fun. I don't
Sure.
know.
That's what,
Met with silence.
That was silence. You know?
here's what I will say. For most,
Cancel me, I guess.
and I have and I will continue to do so.
Thank you.
I mean, I just happen to like ABBA outside of Mamma Mia.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
guess for me, that is one that works. Also, I think, oh my gosh, this is not a Mamma Mia podcast. It doesn't matter. I'm not trying to like cape for Mamma Mia. But
like
but I think their
No,
songs
I'm not-
are already so theatrical
Right.
that like the musical theater effect doesn't quite jar as
Mhm.
much as it does, I think, with this musical especially. These are like
Yeah.
pop songs. I told Connor
That
earlier,
is
and I
correct.
will say this again, I feel like this musical was people who were just like, you know how people make fun of they do like a funny bit where they're like, this is what Dido's White Flag would sound like if a musical theater person sang it. And then they affect an incredibly funny voice and everyone laughs. They were like, what if we just did a whole musical, but it was that, but for serious. And we paid a lot of money to produce it.
And we put it on Broadway.
Yeah. Cause I'm like, I don't think I need to hear crazy with a musical theater affect.
I have thoughts.
I don't think I need to
We'll
hear
get to them.
Don't
will.
Speak by No Doubt sung by a musical theater actor.
Wait,
That's just
you
where
don't want Karen Olivo to sing that song?
you know, it's not for me. Okay, let's start from the top.
Okay.
So if you've seen the
First
movie,
of all,
you
it's-
know
yes.
the show. I assume. I don't think it deviates that much from the plot.
No, most of what's different is the characterizations.
Okay.
Okay,
Of different
interesting.
characters, which I'll touch on.
All right.
But the plot is largely the same. Like,
Okay.
if I'm remembering correctly, because I haven't watched the movie in a long time,
Mhm.
a lot of what's different is like I feel like the Duke and Satine's relationship
Mhm.
got a lot more serious. Like they used
In
a
the
little bit of
musical,
like
yeah.
time lapse in the musical. You know what I
Mhm,
mean?
mhm.
Interesting.
Like there's a nice scene where they're just like he's got her like dressed up in society clothes and they're out amongst the people that I feel like they never really got to that in the movie.
Right.
In the
right.
film.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Would
pretty
you say
much
their
the same.
relationship was more real in the show? Because I feel like in the movie it felt very one-sided. Or would you say it continues to be one-sided?
I actually have a lot of thoughts on that because basically, let's just jump into
Okay,
it.
let's do
Yeah,
it.
why not?
The Duke, I love the Duke in the movie because he's such a creep.
Yeah.
He's just a creep.
Mage, yeah.
But in the musical, he is a fucking stud. Like he's a hot
Oh.
guy.
Interesting.
We love
Super
a
hot.
hot guy.
He like strolls in. He's made of money. He has sex appeal. He literally has a whole song about how he won't have sex with her until she begs for it.
A dom.
Problematic.
Okay, well, in the movie, he famously has sex with her and she doesn't want it. So I
is
feel
correct.
like
Right.
we're rubber banding the other way.
Right. And like you can still argue that she doesn't want it in
Fair
the
enough.
musical, but
Mhm.
at least he's like more concerned with pleasing her as
Mm.
opposed to the
Right.
Duke in the
Mhm.
movie who's just like, you're mine. Now we
Which
sex.
brings us to our
Yeah,
central
that's-
thesis. What is consent? Let's dive in.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Yeah. So, the general plot of the show / movie is that it takes place in the Moulin Rouge, which is a nightclub. Satine is the star. The nightclub is struggling for money. Correct. The Duke
Yes.
is used as essentially a cash infusion.
Yes.
They're trying to entertain him, prove to him why the Moulin Rouge deserves him being benevolent, and they're doing that via Satine, like just kind of sex him up a little bit and
Right.
let him give us our money. Remember, the Moulin Rouge's future depends on that. Is Christian the
Writer.
he's
or
just
composer. Or,
yeah
do they
he-
change it because in the movie he's a writer.
he's just like a wandering writer,
Yeah.
right?
He
Yeah.
wanders into Paris. He's very $3, 2 bags, and 1 me.
Ugh,
A
we
famous trope we
love-
love.
Exactly.
We love a 3-2-1.
Yep.
Yeah, and then he falls in love with Satine, and she's
Right.
like, "You don't want me. I'm busted up." And then he's like, "No, I do want you." And she's like, "Okay, actually, I do actually love you." And then she has consumption and dies. Tragic.
Oh, so sad. So
It's
sad.
very sad. They sing on rooftops, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the general plot. A classic love story
Yeah.
that, once again, tuberculosis is the enemy.
I'm getting really sick and tired of this poor representation that tuberculosis is getting in our society.
This smear campaign against tuberculosis.
Honestly, if I know anything about society today, and I know something about it, it's that we should really be focusing all of our energy on the coronavirus. Just saying.
Yeah, but you can't
Stop giving tuberculosis the bad rap.
That's fair. But can you prove that you have coronavirus by coughing quietly into a hanky and then looking down at it and seeing that it's full of blood
of course.
And realizing the end is nigh? And that's my question to China at large.
And honestly, there is nothing more drama
than coughing
into a handkerchief. And
it's very hot in the movies
blood.
and very not hot in reality.
No,
have you ever heard someone cough? Nothing annoys me faster than when someone has a persistent cough, and I include myself in that.
Particularly on a train.
Oh my God.
I'm like, you're infecting us all. Just stop coughing. Just like if it were me and I was in your situation, I would simply just stop coughing.
Just stop coughing.
I would simply not cough anymore.
Exactly.
Just have a little
coughing,
willpower.
Stop being depressed.
It's
all about attitude, you guys.
Yeah. It's just, if you believe it, you can achieve it. And that's what we say here at Bits Over Broadway, where we're famously not depressed or sick ever. Okay. All right. We're fully 15 minutes past 4, and it's time to actually discuss this show.
We are doing it. Okay, so another characterization that I really like that actually ties into the song Welcome to the Moulin Rouge.
Okay.
Famously, the first song of the show.
That is correct.
Famously, the opening.
Is the man who plays Ziegler.
Okay.
Danny
Burston?
Go for it. Who can never be sure?
He's incredible.
Yeah.
And like pretty much openly gay in the show, which adds a nice air to it.
Love that.
That is fun.
Yeah, because he's like very dandy,
That's fun.
Like he's got his like kind of makeup-y face and his twirly mustache, and he just gets to live his best life in a silk kimono in at least one scene. Yeah. I know.
Are we both now fighting to audition for the role of Harold
Ziegler?
And you get to call people chickens. Come on.
I love that.
Hello,
that's
chickens.
Cute.
That's really cute.
The opening number, I was listening to it and I felt like I was having a panic attack.
Why?
It is so chaotic.
Chaotic.
It is so chaotic.
You're learning a lot.
It's upsetting. Like visceral hatred poured out of me the minute this song started playing. I was like, what's going on? And now, I think paired with what I'm sure is an incredible set, beautiful costuming.
Oh, sure.
I'm sure that it feels probably more like you're in the Moulin Rouge, and it feels like, oh, great, everything's whirling and chaotic because this is a show and we're backstage and da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
For me, just sitting at my computer trying to live my life and do some reports, it felt like an attack.
That is one thing that I think lends itself very well to being a Broadway musical,
Of course.
is because the film is about a stage show.
Mm-hmm.
It works very well to just slap it on stage.
Yeah, of course.
Like
That makes
most
sense.
things that are adapted, like a musical about a famous dead princess that I don't want to talk about, that's coming up. Princess Diana, you look confused.
I thought it was Anastasia.
No,
I thought we were ragging on Anastasia. Okay.
Nope, we're talking about the
There's
Princess
a Princess
Diana.
Di musical,
Di
not
musical
the
that's
one
coming.
written by Peter Smith. Correct?
Correct.
The other Princess Di
Friend of the
musical.
pod, Peter
The other one that's coming to the Broadway. I'm not interested in that.
Yeah, no.
Personally, maybe I'll eat those words later, but
Right.
but
When is that
Moulin
coming?
Rouge as an adaptation works really well.
It makes, here's the thing. I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
The movie is famously beloved by many musical theater people.
It turned me gay.
That's what it is. Mamas, don't let your children watch Moulin Rouge.
While everyone else in my generation was being turned gay by Lady Gaga, I was being turned gay by Moulin Rouge.
A
famously.
famous musical theater queer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh,
You love to see it.
But I also think that if I had listened to the Moulin Rouge movie soundtrack alone without having seen the movie to accompany it, I probably also wouldn't have liked that either. So I do think
That makes sense.
you have to have seen I would have been just as confused as I was.
Right.
Because it's using the song, the entire conceit, I think, of Moulin Rouge movie and maybe show is that it's using pop songs and situation to tell the story.
Right.
So it's not that the song lyrics are telling you what's going on between the two characters. I mean, they are, but like,
Oh, no.
it's also using like performance art almost, where you're picking lines from shows and plays. But in this scenario, obviously, it's just other songs to try and convey a love song or a fight song or a song where you're telling someone they don't have to be a prostitute anymore by using a song that's about how someone doesn't have to be a prostitute anymore. That one's very literal.
I 100% agree. Other than I wrote out an actual line that we'll cover when we get to it.
Okay.
Where it's like they changed the words to make it more relevant. And boy, is it.
It's a little on the nose.
Incredibly on the nose.
But I think it is confusing if you're not seeing, if you don't have the visual.
Sure.
Okay, famously, we're learning this lesson once again.
Once again,
musical theater is a visual medium. But I do think that it is a little disorienting because you're just like, okay, this just sounds like a very bad version of a Glee episode.
Oh, yeah. And I mean,
stop.
Welcome to the Moulin Rouge is insane.
Okay,
I
thank
mean,
you.
Absolutely.
It is definitely at least like 4 or 5 songs all crammed into one song.
Fully.
And not in a mashup way, just like now we're singing something else.
That was one of the things that got me was that like it felt like they changed the song with every like 30 seconds because it wasn't a mashup like you said. It was more like cramming them all together, and like that's what made me feel insane because I was like whiplash.
The song Moulin Rouge, Lady Marmalade. Sorry,
Yes.
the song Lady Marmalade was never in Moulin Rouge,
No.
right? It was just like a
No.
promotional. It's like when Celine Dion sings Beauty and the Beast.
Yes.
I didn't
Right?
even realize that.
Yeah, I don't think it's from the movie.
I think
it's
I
not
haven't
in
watched
the
it in
movie.
I think it
long.
might like
it was just
play
like a
over
promotional like thing, and so I was very disoriented when it was just like in the. I was like, oh well, we're just gonna tell you right now. Guess what? Remember that song where everyone was like, I know how to say "You want to come to bed with me" in French.
Right.
We love Christina Aguilera. Guess what? Now this is happening to
Exactly.
you.
Hey.
Wow. What a song.
What a song. Yeah, I was very disoriented by that
Yeah,
opening number.
that's fair.
Is this sung through? No, there's spoken.
No, there is some stuff
There's
in between.
Okay.
But I mean, if you know the plot of the movie,
Right.
you're not
You
missing
can
much.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Truth, Beauty, Freedom, Love. Sounds like a Lady Gaga song.
Why fun?
Okay. Yes.
A question for the ages.
Whenever
that
they
song was
started-
popular for like maybe 2 months in 2012.
Whenever they started singing Royals by Lord, I was
Oh my
like,
God.
yes.
Whereas I
loved
was
it
like,
so much.
no.
I loved it. But then
A
it went
dichotomy.
into fun.
Why?
We are young.
And that is actually the two genders. When
And
you hear
I was-
Lord, you're either like, yes,
Yes,
or
that is the gender
no.
binary.
It was upsetting.
Wild.
Yeah.
I did feel like I know they said they used songs from like the 17 years
Yeah.
in between from the movie and now. I did feel like a lot of them were 2010 to 2012.
Agreed.
Am I crazy?
No,
I should
you're right.
check the years on all those songs, but it felt like
It-
obviously No Doubt's not, but there was a lot of
Right.
Pink.
Yeah.
There was a lot of Katy Perry, I felt like.
Well, and my thing with We Are Young is thematically, I do feel like it fits.
sure.
However, my thing was, it was such a, let's be gratuitous and say cultural phenomenon
Of course.
for like 6 months.
That's a movie trailer song.
I have
yeah.
a visceral reaction to it now.
Yeah, I think a lot of people
You mean
do.
it doesn't remind you of like doing shots in a bathroom at Mizzou? 'Cause that's
No,
about
Why were
what
you
was
doing
going
shots
on.
in the bathroom?
You
Was
never
the
did
kitchen
bathroom
full?
shots at the Doom?
No, I did them off the grimy kitchen counter in 200.
A fun thing that we
Generational divide.
Generational divide. A fun thing that we liked to do was take shots with us into the shower as we got ready for the party.
Oh, well, I thought you meant when everyone was like just about to
Oh,
leave.
no, never.
Yeah, of course you do a shot in the shower. What
Yeah.
am I, an amateur? Okay, all right. Shower beer. Yeah. You
Yeah,
get it.
but
I'm
it's
not
shower
old.
shot.
I'm actually very young. Okay, yes. So
I'm sorry.
fun was
I don't
jarring.
drink.
I believe that.
Yeah, no, that was like jarring. But I get why they put it in there because, like you said, it was like such a moment. Like everybody listened to that song.
Well, and I do think they matched it up very well.
Sure.
Whenever I heard it, I was like, ugh. But that was how I felt
Like
through
getting
a significant portion of the show, and I still love it.
Right.
Okay. I'd love for you to speak on that.
I will.
Okay.
So then
next-
we moved on to Sparkling Diamonds. Sorry, I did not mean to
No, you're
step on
fine.
you
Go
there.
for it.
No, you're fine.
But I was just looking at my notes because this is an excellent example
Okay.
of nope. I'm thinking of a different song.
Oh no.
Well, then let's say fuck this one and skip on ahead.
Skip it.
No, I was actually really surprised because like in the movie, one of the things that like kind of was the most jarring listening to the musical version was I really like the choices that they made in the movie score, and I was kind of expecting those to like remain, and they kind of changed a lot of it.
Yeah, this is definitely another case of a different characterization.
Sure.
She wasn't as drastically different as the Duke, but
Okay.
Satine, I feel like in the movie, and correct me if I'm wrong, because again, haven't watched it in a minute,
Of course.
but she was more of like a playful and like she's trying to seduce you in kind of a hyperactive way.
Yeah.
And in the musical, she's more like a sexy lounge singer who's also a little goofy sometimes.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, I wouldn't call Nicole Kidman sexy lounge singer.
No.
on
No,
that.
no, not at all.
No.
Interesting. Okay. Because one of the things that was most jarring was that like the diamond number. Because like I just always think of like the diamonds are a girl's best friend when it comes to that. But then they like added a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh,
Well,
whoa.
they did still do the descending
on the swing.
Great.
yeah,
We
swing
love
thing.
it.
So
That's
great.
our first introduction to Satine. Yes?
Yes.
Still? Okay, great.
I think so.
Yeah, he
okay.
presents her.
Oh.
Yeah, that's in the movie too. That's our
Yeah.
first like, which is great. She deserves an entrance. I like a lot of aspects of Moulin Rouge in how they set it up and introduce all of the characters to you. So I'm glad
Sure.
that some of that holds over
Mhm.
from the movie. Oh God, shut up and raise your glass. I can't.
Okay.
Okay, I also need to caveat and say I listened to this while working, and so I wasn't actually looking at song titles.
Yes.
So for me, this sounded like one insanely long medley that was
It is.
bad. Well, but it like for me there was
Come
like
for my
no
whole
break.
gig.
It wasn't like a song. Okay, that was one medley
Oh,
and
got
done.
it.
To me, it sounded like just an hour of a mashup, and I was like, ah, my brain is melting.
Yes.
So then when we got to Shut Up and Dance and Pink, I was like, oh boy, I'm not gonna make it.
yeah, I hate Shut Up and Dance with Me.
I don't
Again,
love it.
I
Sorry,
just-
Connor. We're coming for your ass.
You are coming for my entire gig. Though, to be fair, when I did hear them, when I did see or like hear them start doing Walk the Moon, I was like, please don't do this. Walk the Moon is one of my favorite bands.
So basically, what this scene is when Christian is trying to woo Satine. She thinks that he's the Duke. He's not.
Right.
I don't know if you guys know this. He's not the Duke.
Fuck.
But it's like a reception scene. So the music worked really well for the scene because it's just like a bunch of people from the show
Right.
all
Mingling,
yes.
dancing,
And then,
drinking. Sure.
the other two of the artists, the Bohemians,
Bohemians.
are like distracting Zidler.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Zidler.
They're distracting him so Christian can woo Satine, and they're like all just partying and dancing, and it's great. I just hate that song so much.
Same. I'll be honest. I am not a Pink fan either. So
Sure. You don't like watching her do near constant aerial acrobatics?
I applaud you. Shout out. That takes incredible control and body tone. I don't care for her music, and so hot take.
heard it here
I don't
first,
like it
folks.
covered. I just don't care for her songs, and so I was like, okay, great. This on top of Shut Up and Dance with Me, that's gonna be a no for me, Doug.
I will just say this now. I have listened to this song at least 17 times in the past
it's literally
24 hours.
I got to this from Spotify because you were listening to it on Spotify. I was like, oh, okay, Connor's fully going on.
As I'm walking here, did you see that I was listening to it?
Yeah, I was like,
I
oh, okay.
was basically only listening to this on the train.
Wild.
And
what part of your brain is so busted up that you feel like you need to listen to this on repeat?
It's the part of my brain that used to be in an a cappella group.
Yeah.
Mitch, edit that out.
Me groaning or Connor admitting that he was in
Connor
an a cappella
admitting
group?
it.
That I was in an a cappella group. Yeah, that's correct.
That's tough. I'm so
Shout
sorry
out to
for you.
J-Tunes.
Not the J-Tunes. What's the J stand for?
Joliet.
Oh, okay. I was
was in
afraid
high
it was
school.
going to be like journalism,
No,
like some kind of
no.
J school hell that you did.
Oh no!
Imagine having any spare time in J school that you could
Could
do
you
an a cappella
imagine?
group.
Could you
This
imagine?
is my nightmare.
Wait, who were the special ones that got the scholarships?
An a cappella group run by Jennifer Rowe. She was
that
a theater
joke
major.
is for 10 people.
Oh my god!
I'm so glad that a niche joke didn't come from you for once.
For once,
For once.
that one was just for me and Kelsey.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm upset.
Okay,
God.
so sorry to have gotten us off track.
It's okay, because now we're headed into the questionably the worst number of the show,
And-
a slowed down version of Firework.
Here's my question.
Okay.
Firework?
Listen.
No,
Karen-
I won't listen to you defend this.
No, all I'm going to say is Karen sells it in the only way you can.
Right.
Like, she did it the best possible way it could be done.
But how do you not hear it and just laugh?
I hate it so
Like,
much.
I can
Yeah.
hear some covers and be like, oh, okay, you're bringing a different emotion to this. You're bringing something more to it with your cover. I totally get that. I cannot imagine a world in which I am not immediately like snapped
Right.
out of the world of the show because I'm like, they're singing fucking Firework.
Also, slowing it down and making it a
Making
ballad
it a ballad.
Bad.
changes and ultimately totally
Ruins.
fucks the rhyme scheme.
Right.
Yes.
She rhymes oh and hey.
Hmm.
Oh my god, I never realized
An
that.
icon.
Yeah. I was
Katy Perry.
Because Katy
the
Perry
greatest songwriter of
Of
our
our
time.
generation.
because Katy Perry is really just making noises when she does that
Yeah.
song.
Correct.
But when you sing
just
it literally, when you sing it literally, it's O A.
Right.
And that doesn't rhyme. It doesn't.
It doesn't work.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
This is where I say that this musical, the score is making capital C choices.
I'm ready.
It's just
This is where 5 songs and you've
5 songs
decided
in.
they're making choices.
I mean, like, I don't know. I can't understand why you would ever want to make Firework a ballad. It's mind-boggling.
I can't understand why you would put it into a musical. I'm sorry. I think that song is too powerful. That song exists. This is like, it's all coming back to me now. Where it
in
exists.
Bad Out of Hell.
It exists so on its own outside of the musical that bringing it into the musical destroys the world you're building.
Sure.
In my opinion, I don't think that there's any like I would have the same reaction where I would immediately clutch the person next to me and be like,
Right.
"Are they fucking singing Firework? They're doing this.
My thing
They're
is,
full blown doing it."
other music exists.
Right.
So use
Wild
some
take,
of
but speak on that.
just like it's not a Katy Perry musical, nor is it a musical about fireworks. So like choose a different song.
Pick a different
Literally
song.
Any other song.
People famously just Google any pop song you want on just YouTube, any pop song plus ukulele, and you can hear some white girl sing a very slow version of that song.
Yes.
It's not difficult. We could have done this with any other song, made it a ballad and made it.
Yeah. And it would have been better than Firework.
It's it's unhinged, honestly.
Truly.
I'm mad about it. I was mad about it when I first heard it. Shout out to Karen Olivo, because I do think she is an incredible singer. Like, you can't
she sells it.
like, you can't come for her chops on this.
She did what she could with what she was given.
Right.
And we love her for that.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's my pitch to the Tony Awards. They did their best with what they had. And I would love to present that category.
Right.
And for this year, for me, it's Karen Olivo.
Just imagine that Tony Award.
Yeah.
Be like, and now the nominees for They Did Their Best.
With what they had. They did their best was a different category from they did their best with what they were given. And when we have our June Anthony Awards,
Of course.
the Bits Over Broadway Anthony's,
Yes.
that will be a category, and I will be submitting Karen Olivo's performance in Moulin Rouge on Broadway for they did the best they could with what they had.
I can't wait to get a cease and desist when we do that. It's gonna be
From the
we've finally made it. Even though Tony stands for Antoinette, but like still.
Okay.
I did not know that.
Like Marie?
I don't know.
Oh, so you know some things, but not all things. Oh, okay. Wild.
Stupidity is equality.
Stupidity. Put that on a bumper sticker. I will fully slap that on my ass.
Going in our merch.
Stupidity is equality.
That's going to be a sticker that
Kelsey,
we sell.
I don't know what the Act Break song is.
I will tell you,
Are we
it's not
close?
this one.
We're 5 songs in. We're nowhere near.
Yeah, but I feel like it's
No.
been a long time. Okay, then never mind. Let us continue for 2 more songs. Okay, because we're coming up on your song, which is one of my favorite songs in the world, and now I'm sad.
My only note on your song is, I mean, they had to.
I mean, it's
'cause
required,
It's in the movie.
but
But they didn't do everything that they did in the movie.
they did not.
Right.
Because, and I applaud them for this decision, though I was slightly disappointed. Hindi Sad Diamonds is not in this show.
That
Which is appropriate.
Probably good.
Probably for the
And
best.
we do applaud that in 2020. Famously on this
Truly.
podcast, we love to woke scold.
That is
And
correct.
shout out to them for not putting that song in this musical in the year of our Lord and Savior 2019.
Yes.
Okay.
I have nothing to add to that. You
Thank
are
you.
correct.
Thank you. They did it. They sure did.
They sure
That's another
sang
category
this
I'm
song.
pitching to the Anthonys.
To
They
the
did it. They
Anthonys.
sure did.
They sure did. I really wish they had done this better, because like if Aaron Tveit,
Wow. Me throughout this entire cast recording.
I wish they had done this better, because like in my mind, like if Aaron Tveit were to stand in front of me and sing your song to me, like my clothes would shoot off me like a cannon.
Yeah, it would turn into that little Capri Sun puddle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just slithering under doors and etc.
And somehow they made it so unsexy.
Mitch did not like that.
What, Mitch? That didn't get you going?
You don't like thinking of me as a little Capri Sun puddle.
That's honestly a memory that I forgot that I had.
Yeah. Who's the one who... Sorry.
Are you thinking about Alex Mack now?
Okay, so now you know what I'm talking about. Famously never known what I was talking about on an episode of this podcast before. But I say, who's the one? This one time Connor knows. And if you're playing our at-home drinking game, drink. For every time I ask Connor, who's the one who does that?
I thought that you wanted me to be your
I do
Keaton.
want that. This is the most successful we've ever been
I
at.
was
and
just
I
about
love
to
it.
say,
Ever.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to throw shade, but your hint one time was gay man who won an Oscar. So
And I stand by it.
And then she said something about like he wore a scarf, and I was like, that really narrows it down. Gay men wearing
Some
scarves.
gay men can't pull off a scarf, but he
and
did.
I am one of them.
Famously terrible scarf neck. Okay. Yeah, Alex Mack. Okay, so if Aaron Tveit sang this to you, you and I both would turn into Alex Mack liquid.
Liquid goo.
And yeah, when we hear this song, I'm opposite. I turn to stone.
My thing is, I didn't hate it. I just didn't care.
And that's not what we should be feeling when
Right.
Aaron Tweed sings your song.
It's it's supposed to be like you're supposed to
You're supposed to get horned.
get horned for that.
Romantically. Is that love?
Honestly,
What does it mean to be horny for someone, but you're not?
But
like,
it's romantic.
Sexy. Is that love?
Who can be
I
sure?
hate you.
Is that love? Are you my mother? Okay.
No, I'm a
Sorry, Kelsey
construction
had a
grade.
point and you're just obliterating it.
What was your
Honestly,
point?
whenever I came home from the show,
Okay.
the way that I described it to everyone,
Uh-huh.
and this is why I don't care about your song, I don't
sure.
care about
Okay.
the romantic songs. This show to me is like porn.
Okay.
You're there for the flash.
Uh-huh.
Right.
And if it has a good plot, that's also great too.
Ah,
But,
that's
like-
an incredible analogy.
I
Yeah.
don't.
I'm not here for the story.
Right.
Yeah.
We all know why we're here.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not the story.
Right.
It's
No.
simply not what these people are doing.
And I feel
things like your song, where it's like supposed to be like the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I feel like that's very much like the thing for jukebox musicals.
1,000%.
You are there, like jukebox musicals are specifically a vehicle to make the audience go, "Oh, I know this song. This is really fun."
Hundo P. You're there
Like,
for the songs.
You're there for the songs.
You're there for
like,
the songs.
like
We experienced this in Bad Out
in
of Hell.
Bad Out of Hell. Like literally,
People are there because they stan Meatloaf.
exactly. And to this day, I could not tell you the plot of that show.
Well, there wasn't. So there were simultaneously 16 and also 0 plots.
That is correct.
Okay, great. So let's just say your song happened and we move on.
Yep. That's it.
I was really sad that I feel like Spectacular like didn't exist, and that was one of that in the movie. That's one of my favorite numbers when they're like pitching the show.
Oh, that's so exciting. That's the next song.
Yeah,
It is. But it's not spectacular.
it's not
Spectacular.
the one from the movie, which I love because it's like insane.
Sure.
It's true.
You can't go wrong with John Leguizamo.
No, not at all.
So.
But
Kelsey,
alas,
speak on
here
this.
we are.
I mean, it's pretty insane on stage.
Mhm.
Sure, I can imagine.
Again, it's not one of my favorite parts.
It's plot.
Right.
because it's plot.
Fair.
Like, I find it fun. I'm never gonna like listen to it recreationally.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun to watch because they took out like some cool they used like large pieces of fabric to kind of construct a scene, you know, then they spread it out as backdrop, then somebody wraps up into it.
Sure.
And like it was very fun and entertaining to watch.
Mhm.
But that was that.
I
Okay.
get that.
Fair
There's
enough.
the pitch, you know.
Yeah. All right. Sympathy for the Duke. Do we have any?
I actually loved this one because of how different his character was
Sure.
from the movie,
Mhm.
the film.
He's a
feels
real
like-
drip in the movie.
Yeah.
Little dweeb.
I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, especially with this song, it feels like they kind of like, because in the movie, I feel like he's not really a character. Because I feel like he's just kind of there.
Yeah, he's kind of a creepy set piece.
Yeah.
He's generic evil.
Yeah.
Right. And it
Um,
just kind of, I kind of do like that they like fleshed him out a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. And this is where I was talking about when they changed the lyrics.
Oh, sure.
And made it so much.
Hit us.
He literally has a line that says, "I'll lay traps for troubadours who will get killed if they come your way."
Oh, cool.
I was like, oh.
Just verbatim the plan.
Yep.
Yeah, basically.
Because in So Exciting, the plot of the thing that they're pitching is the plot of Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge.
Uh-huh.
And
Very
he was
meta.
just straight up like, I'm gonna kill your friends.
Yeah, basically.
And what I'm going to do, I'm going to kill him.
So, guys, hear me out.
No,
This is
no.
my
Let me
pitch.
finish.
Let me finish. I'm going to kill your friends.
How do you feel about that?
You just want to like,
Mic drop.
just hit me with it.
Very cool. I can't. Did they sneak hit me with your best shot in here? I feel like there was ample room. No, but they did something
don't
else.
think
Love
so.
is a battlefield.
Love is a battlefield.
They like said the line.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
not any of the music. But
Yeah.
it still counts. You still have to give people credit for
That
that.
is correct.
You still have to pay for that.
True.
When you sample, even online, you got to pay for that. What song were we listening to the other day, Mitch, where we were trying to figure out all the things they had sampled? It was Jungle Boogie and something else.
For once, it's not me.
Oh, I got 5 on it,
What?
right? That was the song. It samples several songs. Okay,
Literally
it doesn't
no
matter.
idea.
That's how samples work, and you do have to pay for those things.
That is correct.
Is the point. Nature Boy? Qu'est-ce que c'est
hate this
Nature
song.
Boy?
Yeah, honestly,
I don't
even
remember how
in
this
the
goes.
movie and the musical,
Meh.
I feel like I should like it because in the movie it was done by David Bowie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't care about Nature Boy.
This song it's so boring.
It doesn't fit. That's how I felt about it in the movie
Yes.
too. It doesn't fit with the rest of it because it's like the hurricane song in
right.
Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like
Skip. That's
I'm
your go to
gonna
the bathroom song.
sing a thing.
Yeah, it's
Go to the
it would be a
bathroom
song.
Is Elephant Love Medley the act ender?
Yes.
We're finally there.
All right, let's go out with a bang.
Listen.
Woof. I'm sorry, this song is trash.
Talk about fucking whiplash.
Elephant Love Medley is famously beloved
Yes.
in our community.
Yes.
And they did this song dirty.
Fucking
That it
dirty.
even shares the same name.
When do they get a cease and desist? That's my
From me
question.
now. I'm writing
right
them.
now.
And my congressman. I'm CCing my congressman on
They
this
put
email.
fucking postal service in there.
I'm mad about every single part of this. There's not a single song in this medley that I am not irate about.
Literally.
I'd play it
Question-
for you start to fin, but honestly, I don't think I can handle
I
it.
question every single choice that was made.
It makes me viscerally furious,
so angry.
blind with rage.
I was sitting at my desk and I was just guffawing in the middle of the newsroom, and all of my neighbors were like, "What the fuck is Connor doing right now?" Me fully having a mental breakdown.
I disassociated. I'm so mad. I astrally projected above my body and just was mad in a room.
Yeah. Wild. So many choices that were made. None
I
of them
beg of you
good.
all, pause this podcast. Google, open up your favorite music streaming platform and type in Elephant Love Medley Moulin Rouge Broadway
Yes.
and just punish yourself with this choices. Somehow we cover Don't Speak. We cover,
Which is an extremely Karen Olivo song.
somehow. I'll take your word for it.
I
Hashtag unpopular opinion. I didn't hate it as much as you guys.
speak on that.
They sing Take On Me as a ballad.
They-
It's trash.
And it's-
Snake.
and it's
Garbage.
which
Horrible woman.
Snake garbage. Got it.
I'm tweeting snake emojis at this song. That's how I feel.
tell us your feelings, Kelsey.
Sorry, Kelsey.
I
Can't
mean,
keep shitting on this.
it wasn't as good as the movie.
Right.
Obviously.
Okay.
It was fine.
Yeah.
That's
terrible for an act ender.
Yeah,
you
but
should not be coming away
I
from an
totally
act ender
agree.
going, it's fine.
I was glad that they at least put heroes in there.
Yes.
This the signature piece.
Yeah. So I was glad they at least did that. I didn't mind that they mixed it up a little bit because it would be weird if they just did it straight out of the movie.
Sure.
If they had changed everything else and then just took this
And
one
then just
word
did
for the
that
movie.
one.
Yes,
from
I
the
agree.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But-
personally think they could have just done the movie, but on stage. But
But I'm glad that they didn't, though, because if I want to watch the movie, I'll just watch the movie.
True.
that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Fine.
Then,
And I mean-
that I say, sure.
And that's just the trap with adaptation. Always is do
That's
you
what they
do
say.
it word for word or do you put your own spin on it?
Traptation.
I
Traptation.
was trying to make that work in my brain. I was like, no,
Oh, no.
there's no way I can't do it. But you did it, and you did it confidently, and I love that.
Yeah.
What other song? Regina Spektor. We had to look up that.
We literally, Meryl and I were we spent a good 5 minutes. I
This
called friend of the pod,
2010
Becky.
hit.
I was like, what fucking song is this? And it was Fidelity by
Yeah.
Regina Spektor.
It's just so many songs.
I
Yeah.
agree. It is too many
It's
songs.
too
Yes.
many.
And
songs.
I do agree that it should be better to end the act.
Yeah.
The thing is, Elephant Love Medley is such a sweeping from the movie.
Yeah.
It's such a incredible love medley song. You feel like a story. It feels storybook. It feels
it's triumphant.
Yes,
It's-
triumphant.
yeah.
That's an incredible word.
Yeah.
I use the word orchestral and sweeping too much, so I need to get some new words in my vocabulary. Triumphant is great.
Banana.
It
There
was
it is.
very, but no, I do say bananas a lot. This one feels just like, how many songs can we
Right.
fit before the people
Yeah.
will walk out?
That's true.
And
Agreed.
to that I say, maxing out at 5
All
for
of
me.
them. All of them.
So with that act ender, we will also take a quick break
Yeah.
and we will be right back. Welcome back.
Welcome back. To start off, we're gonna go right into the fucking Bad Romance Tango number.
And here's my quick question. Why?
No.
Why?
No.
Does
this
it work?
It works.
No.
Okay.
I
This
refuse to believe it.
was literally the best number of the musical.
I can't believe you're saying.
This is
It was incredible. It was one of the best dance performances I've ever seen in my life as a person who knows almost nothing about dance.
Sure.
Okay, well, I love that.
But like, I've seen a lot of shows
Sure.
and I really, really enjoyed it.
Unbelievable to me.
because like when I
literally-
listened to it, I was like,
Garbage.
my eyeballs popped out of my skull like a cartoon wolf, and I was like,
When Toxic started, I covered my eyes because it was so good. And then I was like, what are you doing? You have to watch this.
I will admit that I did love the Toxic.
Okay,
part of that
I
song.
mean, Toxic's very great.
Yeah,
we all
we
love
love.
it. I want to see everyone dance to it. Very slimy, very squirmy. We
yeah,
love.
we love.
I can't believe it's good, but I believe you.
They just dance so hard.
Yeah, that
Okay.
makes sense.
I respect that. I respect a dance break.
Also,
This song
as
is
I
so
said
bad.
during the break, and I
Yes.
said I would say
Yeah, you're
air,
on
did
mic now
say.
for posterity.
I think a lot of this show, the spectacle makes up for the nonsense. Like
Right.
the things that bother you when you're not watching it. It's just so like, I mean, the set is beautiful. There's like a gigantic elephant on one side that's like
Sure.
wire and lights and whatnot.
Ooh.
There's a cage for cage dancers and a windmill on the other side. It's all lights. It's all glitter.
Mhm.
Like there's just so much to look at and everyone is so talented that
Mhm.
like, you're like, I don't,
Famously, the Moulin Rouge.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't care that you're singing an inane song because you're doing it so well.
Right.
All right.
Which is a good
I guess I respect that.
which is a good point to say that my nemesis and arch rival.
And one day you will battle for your life against him.
Ben Brantley gave this musical a positive review.
Ben Brantley, who famously hates everything
Hates
we love.
Every single fun musical that has ever been created
Mhm.
said that Legally Blonde was basically garbage.
Yeah. Hated
Loved
Heathers,
this
right?
show. Oh yeah, he hated Heathers. I'm nemesis.
We will fight you one day, Mr. Brantley.
Mr. Brantley, I will find you.
Everyone thinks it's the New York Times op-ed section that's problematic, but
No.
in fact, it
It
is
is
their
the
theater.
theater.
reviews.
It is the
Oh,
theater
I mean,
section.
in addition to. So sorry. Let me amend that. Brett Stevens is a bedbug, and also Ben Brantley, bedbug.
Yeah, also bedbug. BB. Initials, same initials.
You can't prove that we're wrong.
Nope. No one can and no one will.
Then Come What May, which is from the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that an original song,
I don't know.
Mitch?
Maybe.
Did anyone famous sing Come What May? I thought you would know. I don't care if you have to. If you have to Google it, then no. His brain works like a little music encyclopedia, and most of the time he can tell you.
Yeah. No, I think it is an original
is.
number for the
I
show.
don't know. I'm willing to say I don't think so, but I don't actually know.
I mean, there aren't very many.
and again,
originals.
this song
They
was
have a couple,
beautiful,
but not many.
Mhm.
and I don't really care about it.
Sure.
Sure, I get
Yeah.
that.
I'm here for the
Yeah.
bad romance toxic mashup of my hell dreams.
Yeah, of course. Nightmare fever
Yeah,
dream.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
I did want to say that I actually liked this version of Come What May more than I liked the movie version.
I mean, they did it very well. They're
The-
very talented people.
yeah, I just really liked the arrangement and the instrumentation that they chose for the musical
Yeah,
version.
things I don't think about ever. Yeah.
I'm also just a slut for an acoustic guitar, so that's me.
Oh, interesting. Come What May is a song composed originally intended for Romeo plus Juliet, the Baz Luhrmann Romeo
Oh, yeah.
and Juliet.
Yeah.
But first heard publicly and is best known as the romantic love theme from Moulin Rouge.
Interesting.
There you go.
Fascinating. So, I mean,
isn't Moulin Rouge just another way of telling Romeo and Juliet?
aren't all love stories Romeo and Juliet?
Fair.
No is the answer, but we can pretend if we're trying to be profound. That is fascinating to me. Anyway, the point is it's a Baz Luhrmann joint. It was not created by him, but used in his shows. Anyway.
Interesting. Yeah. I like the musical version more. And I listen.
It's not a great, here's the thing. Ian McGregor is not a great singer.
No, and neither is Nicole Kidman.
And it's a reach for him, I think, in the movie. So anyone with talent.
Yeah.
No offense. Ewan McGregor, very hot,
talent.
very talented, but maybe not musically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also, and like I was saying, like the arrangement and the instrumentation, I feel like this song gave me what I was looking for in Elephant Man Medley. It was much more triumphant and celebrating in their love.
Mm-hmm,
and I know we don't care about plot, but like if I were to care about plot, this would be the song that would give me what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Which is not, in my opinion, great.
Right.
I don't think one song in a musical should be giving you the plot.
No.
That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. Okay. That's my opinion. I am, P.S., rewatching Real Housewives of Orange County.
I've never watched
I know
it.
one
Not
day,
Atlanta. I'm not interested.
That's true. We did watch some Atlanta when we lived together. I love Orange County, but incidentally, one of my clients has a insurance policy that was sold to her by one Vicky Gunvalson, who is a famous Real Housewife. And this mattered only to me. And when I saw it, I was like, oh my God. And I was like, no one at work will care. Like, no one at work knows who this person is or gives a shit. Anyway. Just
if you like celebrities like that, you should listen to Who Weekly, the podcast.
Yes,
correct.
I know that you love it, and I should add it into my rotation. Tragically, now that I work from home, I just never commute, and so I don't listen to podcasts.
Fair.
It's really affecting my life.
I'm just like,
negatively.
if I don't do a podcast, I'll just plug my favorite one.
Yeah, please. We welcome that. I've plugged other people's podcast on this podcast
that
before,
correct.
and I will continue to do so. Save it for the plugs. Okay. Only Girl in a Material World.
So this is the one where the Duke is like, I want you to beg for it.
Right. Very sexy.
Right.
And I think this is actually the point in the show where it gets more tawdry, because up till this point, I mean, like, it was implied that they were having sex, but it really, I mean, it's a racy show in that it's got like skimpy costumes and like
it's a cabaret.
Yeah, like during the pre-show,
Burlesque
there's like cabaret people, burlesque type people who are walking around and stuff, but it's not like
the show
super scandalous
until
now.
Okay, so are we horny for the bad guy, or?
I mean, like, yes.
Okay. Thank you. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Because, like, he's still clearly the villain and, like, clearly the controlling guy who wants to use his money to get what he wants. But he's super hot.
But he's doing it in a hot way, which is allowed.
Yeah.
Which actually makes it legal.
Yeah.
That's Mike Bloomberg's problem. If Mike Bloomberg was hot, everyone would be fine with what's going on.
Anti-heroes are just hot villains.
And that's what Marvel's trying to prove.
Yes.
Okay. And now we simply must devote another hour and a half to discussing Chandelier.
I love it.
No, you don't. I refuse.
Kelsey,
this is the worst shit I've ever heard in my life.
Literally, it makes me want to peel my skin off.
First of all, the lyrics aren't great to begin with, but Sia sings with an accent so that you can't really understand what she's saying. And also you're like, whatever, I know she's gonna fucking scream, and that's the part I'm waiting for.
Right.
I don't care about the lead up. I do not need to hear someone articulate clearly and slowly, party girls don't get hurt while they're trying to get Aaron Tveit drunk on absinthe.
Okay, this is my 20-second pitch for this song.
Okay, go off.
Now! Is this Pink Elephants on Parade? Is this just this musical's Pink Elephants on Parade?
This is my 20-second pitch.
Take this time now to pop off.
Yeah, go ahead. And
It
go.
has the same energy as whenever you're really mad, trying to forget something, so you blare your music so loud in your headphones and you listen to the most garbage song you can.
Okay.
It's got that energy. And it was really well done on stage.
I just want to say that your anger right now could like.
I wish that I had a different song to blast in my ears to forget this song that I'm so angry about. I hated it. I really did. I'm so sorry. I gotta say it's
I just
to
need
quote
to
Randy
know.
Jackson, it's a no for me, dog.
I just need to know who asked for this and who
certainly wasn't me.
and who greenlighted this.
And it wasn't me for doing that either.
Because I would like to sue.
I have some thoughts that I'd like to share. I'd love to take them out for a quick cup of coffee, just see,
Right.
pick their brain.
I also think that maybe it would have been better if they had a different singer.
I didn't love Danny Burstyn in this. Is that Danny Burstyn? He's the one who plays the Harold.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I didn't think he sounded good on this soundtrack. Maybe he's good in real life.
Yeah.
Maybe he just had an off day, but this is tough. I don't think he sounds good.
I think, A, I do think he sounded better in person.
Okay.
I think, B, I think he has such a personality and such a presence
Sure,
that
would
makes
make
up
sense.
for a lot of it.
Yeah.
That's fair. It's tough. It's a tough one to
To sell via
I
just
listened.
album.
I was listening to this morning in the shower, and I really thought Mitch was going to like burst in and rip the speaker out of the wall. Like I couldn't believe he listened to it. Then I came out of the bathroom and he was blaring his own music in an attempt to drown it out. So, thank you, Steely Dan, for providing an album for Mitch to listen to, so he didn't have to listen to Chandelier. And then we get into El Tango de Roxanne, which I do believe is subpar compared to the movie version.
Extremely.
The movie version is horned.
Yeah.
The movie
sultry.
version is it's pathos, it's ethos,
It's all the
drama,
sauces.
it's gravitas, it's sex. Like there is
I
nothing.
don't even know if all those words mean the same thing.
That doesn't matter. There is nothing more drama, capital D, than a violin.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And this song, it just like I felt like it lost all of that.
I agree. I think the movie one is definitely better.
Yeah.
But I was glad that they did it because
Sure.
I love that number in the movie.
Yeah.
And it would have left, I was afraid whenever I was watching it, not knowing what the list of songs was, I was afraid that Backstage Romance was going to cancel out El Tango de
yeah, because
Roxanne.
they
it's
already
very
had-
tango.
Yeah. So then whenever it was in the show, I was very excited.
Good.
Mhm.
But the movie
Now-
one is better.
I
Yeah,
can't remember because, again, I tried to rage block a lot of this out. Did they just say, fuck Nirvana, we don't need her anymore? There's no Nirvana in the show, right?
I don't.
I feel like that's a
don't
major
know.
part of the movie, and
Yeah.
they don't use it at all. They were like, we don't need Nirvana, we have Katy Perry.
Oh God.
We have Walk the Moon. Who needs Nirvana?
Those things
I
do
thought-
not equal.
I thought there was a little teen spirit in Backstage Romance, but maybe
There
I just
may be.
want it to
I don't
be.
remember. I only listened to
Yeah, just
I only listened to
dreamed.
the cast recording once, like one time through, so I don't really remember.
Yeah. Same. Yeah, El Tango de Roxanne. This version was just not my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it good?
Fair.
Was the dancing
I mean, like,
was the dancing good?
everything on stage was incredible.
Yeah,
It's
I
a really
imagine.
good show. And if you can win the lottery, I would highly
see.
suggest seeing
Yeah.
it.
Like,
But not
I-
right now because Aaron's Fate's not playing through March 1st. So.
Well,
It's
Tomorrow.
very busy.
That is
tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It is
So-
February.
He only took 5 days off.
By
That's
the
fine.
time this
Calm down.
airs, you
Yeah.
can go see it
Yeah,
again.
That's
absolutely.
fair. That's fair. All right. I take it back. Man, strike that from the record. We got to talk about Crazy Rolling. Why? Okay. The big 2012 energy coming
Yes.
out of this song.
For half a second, I was really scared you guys were going to be like, I loved it. Because I
Have
did
we
not
said
love
that
it.
about anything so far?
But I was afraid we
Would
were going
be
to have
wild.
another wild disagreement.
Yeah. No, it's bad.
Oh, Connor loved it.
Connor!
His face.
Connor, just see yourself out That's unbelievable.
Through the
No,
window. You can't even use the door.
No,
What?
crawl.
The door is for guests. You're not.
You're unwelcome. Crawl through the mouse hole. Skimmy out through the radiator.
Okay.
And tell me how they're getting into my house.
Yeah, I absolutely will
tell
do
me
that.
how they're getting in.
Absolutely will do that.
I've never seen a guilty or gay face.
He loves it. He stands. I
don't
believe.
love it. No, this is what I was going to say was of all of the songs in this show, this is probably one of the ones that I hate the least.
And I hate it arguably the most. No, I don't. I hate Firework more.
Yeah,
But
Firework
fair.
is
this
the
is
worst.
bad.
I don't know. I'm always like up for an Adele
Here's
mashup.
what
This
I
is the problem. This is the problem is that I watched that Glee Adele mashup where they sang I don't even fucking remember the songs, but I watched those Adele.
Probably set fire to the rain.
I am not
Maybe?
going
No.
to clap for the sake of Mitch's eardrums,
Okay.
but
Imagine
don't
I'm clapping.
sing Adele if you're not going to hit the high notes.
Thank you.
Sure.
Don't
Yeah.
do it.
No,
Don't do
I'm just
it.
saying that I watched that Glee mashup of Adele and it ruined me forever.
Here's what I'm going to say.
I'm just ruined after that because
I'm
now
ruined.
I'm a slut for an Adele mashup or an Adele cover.
It's bad.
It is bad. I'm not saying it's good.
Connor, look at me in the eyes. It's bad. Here's my problem. I have been traumatized by a person who insisted on playing like jazz covers of
no.
popular
Damn
songs.
it, Mitch.
And don't you put this on him. I want you to know. I want this on the record. These are my vows. I would never be with you if you listened to jazz covers of popular songs. We would divorce. We would be estranged.
He would be the one living in the mouse hole.
That's right. To the mouse hole with you, sir. But they insisted on playing them, and Crazy was one of them.
Oh,
And it's
no.
like those YouTube videos of like girls wearing their hair all pinned up like the 30s, and they have one of those stupid old timey microphones, and they're singing in like a little polka dot dress, and they're like, "Does that make me crazy?" It's stupid. That wasn't jazz. That was like a psycho Bob Dylan. But imagine that I was singing jazz, and imagine how garbage that would be. Now, then imagine that I have to be re-traumatized by listening to Crazy Rolling.
I literally wrote down, I'm a slut for an Adele cover or mashup, so I'm really not a good judge of character.
Not a good judge of character. You've been blinded by your horniness.
That's correct.
And it's simply not allowed.
I'm not saying that it's a good cover. I'm just saying that, like, of the songs, it's not my least fave. Or
That
my,
is truly some sort of metric, I guess.
I don't know.
You have to have some standard.
Yeah, like,
and
I didn't
this is
hate it the
yours.
most.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I did not. It really enraged me.
I get that.
And I think it's just because Crazy was such a song.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, we want to talk about fun having a moment.
Yeah.
Gnarls Barkley
Correct.
made his living. He lived for 7 years off that song until he made Fuck You.
Correct.
No, that was CeeLo Green.
But isn't he part of Gnarls Barkley?
I don't know. Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
That's
he
why I
is.
hate him, and that's why
That's
I
why you
Crazy.
hate him.
I couldn't remember. Yeah.
Barkley broke up, and CeeLo Green's like, it's
Yes.
time for me to go solo and make one more smash hit that everyone will scream and live for the next
I
rest of my life.
literally
had no idea
earlier
that was the
earlier
that happened.
today, I was like, why do I hate Gnarls Barkley again? And then I was like, oh right, because he's a rapist. And then I was like, allegedly. And then I was like,
Credibly
oh wait,
accused.
no, that's CeeLo Green.
They're the same.
They're the same.
They're the same.
That explains so much.
They're the same. Yeah, including the hit songs "Crazy" and "Forget You." Those are the only
Right.
two songs that he's ever sung, and he's made millions off of them. I'm like, congrats to you for that. But also, that song was everywhere.
Yeah,
You could not
that is
escape
correct.
that song for, I would say, years afterwards.
Oh, absolutely.
But. And then Rolling in the Deep is fine. I like Adele. I respect Adele. I
Yeah.
love what she's doing. I love what she's done.
I also
But Rolling in the Deep is also one of those songs that to me feels like I don't know. I love Adele. She gets overplayed, and it's
Agreed.
super easy to burn out on her. And so there's never
Well,
going
that's
to be
because people will only ever play the same like 3 songs that
Yeah.
she
true,
sings.
but no one's ever going to like. You're not doing anything new. For me,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
the Hamlet principle. Like it's been done. It's
Right.
been around for long enough. We've seen enough iterations of it that whatever you're doing is not bringing some new
Yeah.
twist.
But
makes
what
sense.
if we did
This
it
time it's different.
post-apocalyptic?
Future Dark Ages. Future Dark Ages, how dare you? Future Dark Ages. That's also a joke for 10 people. Shout out. We're getting niche tonight.
I had no problem with the rolling in the deep part of it,
Sure.
other than
Yeah.
I was like, A, why does it have to be a duet? Don't think that's
It's
necessary.
weird, yeah.
B, if you're going to have a woman singing it and she doesn't sing the high notes, are we even singing
What
at
are
all?
we doing
that makes
here?
sense.
That's the point of Adele. What are we
Right.
all doing here? What was all this for?
What is the meaning of life?
What's our purpose? Okay. Your song, Reprise.
Let me just read you verbatim what I wrote in my notes.
I would
Please.
love.
My roommate Jess hates reprises, and now I do too.
Yeah, same. Except for Connor does love Mama Who Bore Me Reprise, which
Oh.
is a fundamentally different song.
It is a different song. That's because it's its own number.
And I was re-listening this week,
Yeah.
and I gotta say, I don't love the reprise as much as I like the first one. So Jess and I remain unchallenged.
You said that. You said that on the pod.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
Well, I'm agreeing with myself. Congrats to me for holding the same opinion.
I don't hate all reprises, but I definitely do hate this one.
I don't even remember it. I think I blocked it out.
There's a chance I didn't listen to it.
Also,
Same.
when she dies, you can tell because there are bells and wind.
It's her spirit leaving her body.
It's a sign of a respiratory infection. That's why they use the wind. She couldn't breathe, but now she can.
Also, windmill.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Moulin.
The Moulin.
The Moulin of the Moulin Rouge.
I've actually been to the Moulin Rouge.
Okay, brag. We get it. You've been abroad.
Also, you went across the ocean. Hey, you were abroad. Hey.
I know. I was about to do some weird vaudeville shtick where I was like, and I was always abroad. But it sounded dumb. So.
We don't have the time.
And yet I did it anyway. Finale, come what may. Why is this not a reprise? Is my question.
I have no answer for you.
Because it's the finale.
What I wrote in my notes for this one is, yes, okay, Christian has feelings.
Right.
Listen,
Again,
Aaron
it
Spade,
comes back to
very
plot.
hot. We love how far he has fallen out of the window.
Right.
From
He
Linda.
uses the line of the, ain't no mountain high enough,
Of
ain't no
course.
valley low enough. And
Oh my
that
God,
is
yeah.
just a misuse.
Oh, fully.
It does not
No.
have my seal of
100%.
a
approval.
miss. Swing and a miss for me.
Yep.
More. Encore.
Less. Stop.
Wow, incredible title of app.
Thank
less,
you.
less, stop. Famously, what people tweet at us.
Yeah.
Do not tweet that at me. Do not tweet at. All right. Kelsey, any final thoughts?
Oh, let me see. I have a little section of my notes that is overarching. But
I
believe
love
we
an
have quick draw.
organized guest.
Yeah,
she
honestly,
came,
it's
she
the
did
best.
the work.
She's
She's got a
prepared.
notebook. We love that.
She's prepared.
You're welcome anytime.
She watches the show. She's seen every episode. She's ready to come to the workroom and
And
compete.
do the work.
I think one of the reasons that this is more of a man in chair moment. So
Yeah,
I'm
of
just going to
course.
say that.
I mean, we can go to that.
Yeah, we can just
yeah,
skip right
absolutely.
ahead.
Man and chair this for us.
Kelsey, man and chair this for us.
Okay. I think one of the reasons that I love this show so much is because I have a very strange visceral reaction when people, like a chorus of people, sings a song that I love.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh yeah, it makes me
I
weep.
immediately tear up, and then I'm like, "Why am I doing this?
Why am I crying?
Why am I so sad?"
Yeah.
I think it was really fun. It was a lot to look at. It was in your face. Very talented people.
Of course.
Yeah, very talented.
It was incredibly fun. Like, in the same way that Rock of Ages is fun, like, nobody cares about the plot line. It doesn't really make sense.
No,
But,
we're there to hear the songs.
yeah, we're
that we
all
love.
here in good spirits.
Mhm.
And it was just a really good time.
Yeah.
Just an audience
makes
standing
sense.
in front of a jukebox musical, asking it to bop.
Truly.
And
all.
that's
Yep.
literally all that jukebox musicals are.
Just that's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess okay, sorry. Anyway, that's your anything.
Yeah,
else
I mean,
for your
like,
man and chair?
that's pretty much it. Just like it's such a fun show.
Okay, Connor, man and chair this for us.
So I don't know how I feel about this show. I did
Seems wild.
I did ask myself if this is the show that finally breaks me and convinces me that all theater should be canceled.
Answers, yes.
But I am going to say that I am very open to seeing it because I would love to see like the flash and the spectacle.
Yeah. It's just very delightful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like it would be a similar situation of like Bat Out of Hell, like where we had completely losing our minds in the theater.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was amazing. And it's garbage.
Yeah.
And
No, I fell asleep during one of the numbers.
I
but
mean.
I loved every second of it.
but in the end, like we said, it is a jukebox musical, and all you can do is ask it to bop.
Yeah. So for me to manage
Yeah,
this,
Meryl
I will say yes. All I ask is that a jukebox musical in internet parlance slap, you know?
You know.
I just want to enjoy the songs. And I think for me, I did not enjoy the majority of the songs.
I get that.
Part of that is me. I don't.
Yeah, the problem
don't-
is you.
I'm the problem. I'm the problem. Huh. I'm the problem. I don't love covers
Yeah.
generally. Unless it's a cover of I Can't Make You Love Me, in which case I will listen to it and I will cry. I love that song.
Mhm.
But for the most part, this was my fundamental problem with American Idol. I can't go off on my American Idol rant. I just don't love a cover. It's a little hard, and I don't love a cover that fundamentally fucks with
Yeah.
the song unless you're trying to
I
say
get that.
something. And I think part of the problem is that I didn't see it, but I just didn't enjoy a lot of the mashups. I was particularly offended by Connor's favorite song, Crazy Rolling.
That was not my favorite song.
Connor's new ringtone, Crazy Rolling.
Okay, number one, bold of you to assume I would ever take my phone off
Okay,
silent.
how many people still do ringtones? That's what I want
don't
to know. Tweet at me. If you still use a ringtone, if you're going to your phone store and buying a ringtone, do you remember when you had to do that?
Oh
when
my
you
God.
could buy ringtones?
I'm being fully
Psycho.
blasted back to
Blech.
2007.
Yeah. Saw a tweet where someone was like, yeah, I just tell teens that we paid 10 cents per text and they think I'm a liar now. And I was like,
it was a
yeah, that's
luxury
unreal.
item.
Yeah,
It
and
was a
I got in
luxury.
trouble many times for going over my texting limit. And I was like, how are you sending more than, 500 texts a month? I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm so cool. Anyway.
Also, like, the
so I
fact-
hated this musical. No, Kelsey, go ahead.
No, it doesn't
Fact.
matter.
No, I want to hear it.
No, just like that, the whole reason that like a lot of internet spelling, being like K thanks bye whatever, is because it was 10 cents per text and
Yeah.
there was a character limit.
Yes.
So we had to learn how to be real concise.
And I don't want to go off here, but
Pop off.
some would say, and I guess I would say because I've kind of created this, but brevity
Of
is
course.
the soul of wit, and that's for me, and I said that.
That is correct.
So
From your lips to God's ears, you heard it here first,
you heard
folks.
it here first. Yeah, I did not love this musical.
Yeah.
I won't listen to it again. None of these songs will make it on my Broadway playlist, which is the harshest criticism
That is correct.
I can give. Even Ghost, which we roundly
Yes,
hated.
We all hated.
Still made it
Ghost.
onto the Broadway playlist. At least one song. So yeah, for me, it just was a swing and a miss. But I love that we're taking chances.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that you brought this to us because it is super different from a lot of stuff we cover.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that I didn't have to think critically about problems in America.
Or, like,
I could just be
Nazism.
like, yeah, thank God I'm not talking about Nazis this episode. I just got to be like, God, remember Crazy and Gnarls Barkley and how much that song sucked? And I appreciate that reprieve. My brain needs that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's a no for me. But I
get it.
I encourage everyone to, and also I couldn't find a bootleg. So I guess no one cares enough to
It's still
bootleg this.
relatively. I mean,
That's fair.
it's
only
still
like 6
relatively
months
new.
old. 6,
Yeah, so
7, 8 months old.
just give it a minute.
Still a baby.
Yeah, you can go see it. It is still running.
Yes, is it at the?
Do the lottery. It's
It's
expensive.
at the Shoe. The
I think
Al
it's the Al Hirschfeld.
Al Hirschfeld.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mitch goes, well, "Where's it playing?" And I was like, "The Al Hirschfeld." I'm like, he's like, "I don't know where that is." I'm like, do you know where any
It's on
theater is?
45th.
Did you
right
ask
next
me
to Broadway
knowing
Dance
where the
Center.
theaters were?
I walk past
Fully-
it every week.
One time a man walked
Oh,
into the
okay.
box office and he was like, "What shows do you have here?" And I was like, "Paddington Gets in a Jam." And he was like, "Nothing else?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Where is Broadway?" And I was like, uptown between like 40th and 50th.
Yeah.
And he was like, "What are some Broadway theaters?" And I immediately turned into an idiot and I was like, the Richard Rogers, the Winter Garden,
The
Winter
Jewel
Garden.
Box. You did better
and
than I could.
he literally went, "Can you write those down for me?" And I said,
No, sir, I do not get paid to give you directory information.
Wait, I do have
dial
one.
311.
I do have one quick question. Is the Paddington show still running?
I was like, oh, hold on.
Until next weekend.
Con, run, don't walk. We can make the
I
8
will
p.m.
literally be running.
It's
You
10,
guys,
12,
I love
and
Paddington
2.
so much.
10, 12, and 2.
Okay.
It's a children's show.
Oh, of course it is.
Did you think they made Paddington Gets in a Gym for adults?
Yeah. Have you seen Paddington 2? It's about prison reform.
It's for children. Children can learn about prison reform.
That's correct.
I've been playing a lot of Monopoly lately. Don't ask me
Interesting.
why. The children love Monopoly. And I got sent to jail. It always happens to me.
Of course.
I go to jail 6 times a game. Somehow the little one never goes to jail, but me always in jail.
She's cheating.
And he does cheat. I know that he does. I can't get into it.
We don't have
His
time.
ethics are
I signed an
stressful to me.
NDA. It's
Yeah, it's the whole thing. But he was like,
Mike
"Do
Bloomberg,
people?"
is that you?
He was like, "Do people visit jails?" And I was like, "They do." And he's like, "Why?" Do I introduce him to the fact that sometimes family members commit crimes? I was like, "Well, sometimes people you love are in jail." And he was like, "Huh?" Like, just had never considered it. Which, like, congrats
Good
on
for
living a
him.
very privileged life. I
Right,
love that for
absolutely.
you. Not that I thought about that when I was 6, but I was like, somehow I will be the one to introduce you to all of society's ills. Via Monopoly, the game about society's biggest ill.
That is correct.
Anyway, that's 6-year-old corner update.
Uh-huh.
Just teaching the children. Let's do plugs. Kelsey, anything to plug besides Paddington Gets in a Jam?
No. No, I just have Twitter and Instagram, Kelsey S. Kennedy, Kelsey S. Kennedy, like the president. I always sound bougie when I say that. I
Yeah.
immediately regret
She's
it
the
every
Kennedy.
time.
Is there another Kennedy Davenport?
Of
Kennedy,
course.
like the drag queen.
Yeah, Kennedy, like Kennedy Davenport.
You know, Kennedy Davenport.
Yeah, but Twitter and Instagram. Don't add me
Sick.
on Facebook. I don't want to be your friend unless I already know you.
No.
I don't
But
even want
if-
to be on there. I
If
just
you're
am.
listening to this podcast and I already know you, we are already Facebook friends.
That is correct.
So,
Unless you've unfriended them on accident.
on accident.
By on accident, I mean on their birthday when you remember they were their Facebook friend. That was my favorite method of unfriending people.
Oh, yeah, when it's somebody's birthday.
I was like, oh, okay. I don't care enough about
Yeah,
you to say
absolutely.
happy birthday to you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Banished into the internet.
Yeah,
I don't
love
think
doing
you
that.
care enough about me to wish me happy birthday.
Exactly.
That's why I don't have my birthday on Facebook, so we're still friends.
Yes, I took
Wow.
Also, I did the
It's a trick.
last 2 years, like the last 2 years that I had a Facebook, I did take my birthday off because I was tired of like one frat guy I was friends with from Greek
Oh,
Week
Jesus.
3 years ago coming to my page and typing HBD. Thanks, Jason. HBD to you also as well. All lowercase.
That is
HBD.
my
Mother-
favorite thing I've heard today.
Man, we have not spoken in damn near a decade. You simply don't need to keep up this ritual of wishing me an HBD.
Habada.
HBD. That
HBD.
I felt my soul leave
Yeah.
my body.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Incredible.
my God.
Thank you, Faisai.
Wow.
Connor, anything to plug?
No, as usual, you can find me at Cerelia12 across all platforms.
What's
Twitter.
the 12 stand for? I think
Um,
I've asked you that. So the year you graduated?
No,
The year
actually,
he made his social media.
it was
His basketball number.
my soccer number.
Soccer! Gay. All right.
Correct.
My son is gay. My co-host is gay.
My co-host is gay. You moved him to the city, and now he's
And
gay.
now he's gay.
No, you can find me across all platforms: Twitter, Insta, TikTok, Facebook. No, don't
Yes, he's a
find me on
content
Facebook.
creator.
Also,
Follow
don't
him
find
on
me on
TikTok.
Facebook. Thank you.
You're doing very good bits. I laugh a lot.
Thanks.
I always heart
I would
them.
if I had TikTok.
Thank
Get
you.
TikTok.
It's very
If
fun.
I have one thing if I could leave you with anything, listeners,
in this podcast,
readers, it would
Readers.
be get a TikTok.
Get a TikTok.
Get a TikTok so I can send you funny videos.
Yeah, that's the whole. Like literally, the entire thing is just Meryl and I.
That's the only
sending
way
videos
Connor and
back.
I communicate is just sending videos of very fat dogs to
Yeah.
one another.
It's very fun.
Damn, boy.
He thick.
That's it. That's my love language.
Yeah, and Meryl, anything for you to plug?
No, I don't have anything to plug. You can find me also across all platforms at Meryl K. That's 2 R's, 2 L's, Meryl like Meryl Lynch, and KAY with an E. Is that good? Is that
Yeah,
how
you
tell
got
people
it.
Like
how to spell
okay, but
names?
without the O and plus an
And
E.
plus an E. And if you spell okay with an AY, which in my opinion is the only way to spell okay. And I don't respect people who just use the letters. Sorry, I don't.
Wow.
That's my truth. That's my burden that I have to bear. That's the only. No, I lied. There's only 2 things that I don't like.
Mhm.
I'm not.
The only
This
2.
musical and
Oh yeah, and people who spell okay. I meant grammatically, but I forgot to say that part, and so now I look like an asshole. There's actually many things I don't like. Famously, I don't like a lot of things. Anyway, no, I don't have anything to plug. Follow me. You can follow this podcast across all platforms at bitsoverbway. You can email us bitsoverbway@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram. You can find us anywhere you find regular podcasts. We're just like other podcasts.
literally.
Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher. Yeah, anywhere you can find a podcast, you can find us. Please subscribe,
Like, rate, and review.
like, and
Oh
subscribe.
my god,
to
I'm so
us.
sorry to break the format, but I just remembered something I do have to plug.
Yes, plug.
Connor and I's a cappella group, the J School Kids.
Auditions
Our audition-
April 1st. Okay, that's it. Bye.
Bye. It's pathos, it's ethos, it's drama, it's gravitas, it's sex.